Welcome back to The Inner Architect. Today, we are going to deconstruct one of the most misunderstood concepts, 5 a.m. In countless self-help books, this hour is labeled with discipline, hustle, and success. But for someone struggling at the bottom of life, feeling hopeless, these labels often only bring deeper frustration. I want to tell you that the true secret of 5 a.m. has nothing to do with wealth or even diligence. It is about an extremely rare psychological luxury, sense of boundaries. Imagine your day. From the moment you open your eyes, you are being invaded. WeChat messages, TikTok algorithms, your boss's anxiety, your parents' expectations. Your psychological space is crammed with these foreign objects. There is a term in psychology called decision fatigue. By the time you get home in the evening, your willpower is already depleted. You can only collapse on the sofa, letting cheap entertainment numb your nerves. This is the story of that poor man. It's not that he isn't trying, he is psychologically overloaded. His CPU is constantly occupied by background programs, never having the chance to reboot. The man who woke up at 5 a.m. initially did so because of insomnia, but as he sat on the edge of his bed, looking at the empty streets with only the faint glow of streetlights, he suddenly realized that in this moment, no one expected anything from him. No one wanted him to reply to emails. No one wanted him to behave properly. No one wanted him to be successful. At this moment, his social identity vanished, leaving only his being itself. From a psychological perspective, this is an excellent state of low arousal. Because external stimuli are nearly zero, your default mode network, DMN, begins to connect in creative ways. Those faint inner voices, drowned out by the noisy day, become crystal clear. The poor man started doing one thing at 5 a.m., observing. He observed the steam rising from his cup, the movement of light and shadow on the wall. This deep, mindful observation recalibrated his nervous system. He found that when he could control his attention in the silence, his anxiety during the day miraculously lessened. He was no longer the laggard pushed by life. He became the one peeking at the script behind the scenes. We must face a brutal truth. Poverty is not just a lack of bank balance. It is chronic stress caused by a lack of control over one's environment. Prolonged stress leads to high cortisol levels, which impairs the brain's memory and judgment. This is why many people at the bottom often make seemingly stupid, short-term decisions. 5 a.m. is a crack he tore in this chronic stress. In this hour, he is the sole monarch of his own life. He uses the order of this 1 hour to combat the chaos of the remaining 23. This small wins effect is psychologically immense. When you have completed a conversation with yourself, read a few pages, or simply thought quietly about the future before 6 a.m., you enter the world with a winner's posture. This posture changes the way you speak, the efficiency with which you handle conflict, and ultimately, the frequency with which you attract opportunities. If you also want to try reclaiming your sovereignty, please do not treat it as a daunting task. Remember, we are deconstructing life, not competing in it. Ritualize start. Do not look at your phone. The second you pick up your phone, you are allowing the whole world to enter your brain and interfere with your emotions. Bodily awakening. Feel the cool morning air entering your lungs. This is not just physical breathing. It is telling your subconscious, you are safe now. Mental white space. Ask yourself one question. If no one were to judge me, what is the one thing I would most want to do today? Did that poor man eventually become rich? At the end of the story, his account didn't instantly gain millions, but he no longer felt deprived. He began to systematically learn skills. He began to reject meaningless socializing. He began to maintain an eerie calm amidst noisy work, because he knew he had a territory that no one could take away right there at 5 a.m. You can have it too. It costs nothing. It only requires you to say to your tired self, tomorrow, let's meet a little earlier. I wish you to find your long-lost self again in the silence. I am the inner architect. See you next time.